Looking for a spring travel destination? Try the Treefort Music Fest coming to downtown Boise, Idaho, March 26th through the 30th. You can catch the full lineup of over 400 artists at treefortmusicfest.com/lineup. 5-day GA passes start at $366, but the prices are going up March 1, so grab them while you can. Other ticket types include front-of-the-line access, single-day full fest, main stage, single-day, and 4-day. Not to mention hotel packages and fort badges. Find your tickets now at treefortmusicfest.com/tickets.
Hello, March. The weather is warming. The plants are waking up. Welcome to one of the best months to be in Las Vegas. Today in CityCast Las Vegas, I'm with Andrew Corrali, founder of TheList.Vegas, and my co-host David Figler. We're going to share all of the best hacks, tips, and events so that you get the most out of March. It's Thursday, February 27th. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Welcome, Andrew and David.
Hey.
And welcome, new listeners. We're so glad you're here. And if you like our offerings in this episode, then you're going to love the content that we put out every single weekday. Yay. All right, gents. David, I feel like I may remember that March is your favorite month in Las Vegas.
March is a good one.
That's not like, you didn't sound totally enthused. I thought it was like the October versus March debate of the best month in Vegas.
The best month to be outside. So yeah, I think that the best windows of opportunity where the heat's not so hot and the wind hasn't decided to rip our heads off yet is March.
Ranking from 1 to 12, with 1 being the best month and 12 being the worst month, where is March?
Oh, I would say March is an easy, 2 for me. Yeah.
2. Yeah, 2.
2?
Yeah.
What is number 1 then?
Number 1 is always going to be October, Nevada Day.
Nevada Day.
Ooh,
All right.
that's the proper answer. Yeah, I'd have to go with October. But yeah, March, outdoor dining, it's still tolerable to hike.
Yeah.
So outdoors before it gets crazy and like the David said, before the wind rips our heads off.
So welcome to the second best month of the year, everybody.
Yes.
Andrew, what do you got going on in March?
Oh, so much. Yeah, looking forward to the outdoor weather, and I'm really looking forward to my monthly Scream Church ritual, Pride Style Pro Wrestling, and in March it's happening March 22nd at Swan Dive. Yeah, and it is like my monthly cathartic ritual that I look forward to every month. If you're not familiar, Pride Style Pro Wrestling is this wonderfully brutal, emphatically inclusive indie wrestling series that has a roster of over-the-top characters squaring off in these really surprisingly well choreographed bouts. Yes, it's scripted, quote, fake wrestling, but that word doesn't really apply because the discipline and the athleticism are just completely off the charts. Yeah,
I went with you. You brought me along once, Andrew.
Yeah. You were initiated into the cult. Yeah.
I totally was. And watching the audience was as fascinating as watching the action, because people, you go there to buy into the drama. And so the audience has a role to play in that too. It was really entertaining.
Yeah, total tribal vibe. And yeah, it usually devolves into total mayhem by the end of the night, as any good wrestling match should. And for me, it's a little dose of nostalgia as well. I grew up going to see wrestling matches at the old Showboat Casino on Boulder Highway.
Nice.
So it kind of takes me back to that vibe. And so that's definitely on my radar.
My grandpa used to take me to wrestling matches over at the Las Vegas Convention Center at the
Dang,
Rotunda.
OG.
Yeah. Have you been to Pride Style Wrestling? It's in your hood.
I have not. I have been lured there by Mr. Andrew Corrali, and I have not taken him up on it, but maybe March is the time, for sure.
Go in March.
Oh, yeah, we'll hook it up.
All my friends go, and everyone says it's just such a great old time.
So our producer, Layla Muhammad, wants to know where the best place to sit is. Layla, from personal experience, nowhere is safe. Yes, you can sit in the front row.
You don't want to be in the splash zone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's like a human splash zone where someone could get thrown into. It's all metal folding chairs, just like you want to see at a wrestling event.
Which are often used as weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take a chance and get out of the way.
They have a saying where they say if you think if it looks like the action's coming your way, it probably is. So grab your and get out of the way.
What are you doing this month, David?
Well, this is also going to seem counterintuitive. I'm just like Mr. Mystery. People don't really think of me as a sports guy, but I
Maybe
like a
not.
mania just as much as anyone. And March Madness is coming up, and
Yep.
there are all sorts of options all over the place. My partner went to a bachelorette party over at the Circa Pool and came back with nothing but raves that it is so much fun to be there, especially when big sporting events are on the big screen out by the
Yeah.
Circa Pool. So that, going in with some friends on that or finding some friends who are doing that might be fun. I'm also kind of intrigued by the March Mania that's happening over at the Fountain Blue. I think really kind of their first foray into it since they opened up.
Wait, what
they're
is March Mania compared to March Madness?
Well, I think it's all the same. I think they're just trying to brand it, and I think March Madness might actually have some TMs on there that they don't want to F with.
Oh,
But
like when you have to say the big game, not the Super Bowl?
yeah, I don't know. All I know is that it's a lot of college basketball. It's usually a lot of fun. People have the brackets floating around, and I always like filling those out. My alma mater is almost always in the tournament and almost always does shitty in it, but it's fun to kind of root for the Arizona Wildcats. Go Wildcats. And if UNLV somehow makes it in, which I don't think they are this year, but I would root for them as well.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I have to second you on Stadium Swim at Circa. I did a staycation
It
there a
looks
couple
so
years ago.
cool.
And actually, like, I had a blast. We like linked up in a pool with the drinks, and the house music was pumping. And you get seduced by the vibe.
Well, that's what I was looking at, Fountain Blue. They're actually doing it in the Blue Live Theater from March 20th to 22nd, and the renderings made it look very, very cool. It's basically their concert venue, but then they also have their sports book, and it's not as expensive. In fact, it's free. You just got to get in there, and Fountain Blue has a good vibe, and I think that might be a little more fun to watch something there than most places.
Well, I am definitely going to try to do some outdoorsy stuff before the heat arrives. I will say I'm super excited because my two sisters are coming into town, one from the West Coast, one
What?
from the East Coast.
Did I even know you have siblings? I know
Well,
all about your mom,
It's
who I
have
adore, Karen.
Karen Lohman is also coming to town,
Oh
not
my
at the
God.
same time. She's coming next week. I'm
Dang.
super excited. I have a brother who married into a wonderful family that has three sisters, and two of the three, all three of them have become the sisters I never had, and it's two of the three of them are coming out. My brother's wife couldn't
Wow.
actually make it, but I got to go see them.
Sounds
All
like a
that
sitcom
aside,
in the making.
yeah, now that you know my entire extended family tree,
The Lohman
Yeah.
ladies is way better than the Gilmore girls.
I mean, I'm expecting more of a Golden Girls in my future. I'm obviously the Blanche, but that's fine. So we're planning our weekend, and now is a good time to get in some outdoorsy activities.
Yeah.
One, before the tourist season in the summer, and two, because it's comfortable and not dangerous to
Mhm.
do these things. So
Now,
we're
where you
sort
gonna
of
go?
deciding. Well, okay, we've got two options that we're looking at. So one is Cowboy Trail Rides, which is one of the stables near Red Rock that does half day or full day rides through the canyon. And I
That's
think
really
that this would be.
popular.
Is
Yeah.
it? So I've never done I've ridden horses in the past and never done anything out in Red Rock, but it seems like it'd be gorgeous.
Make reservations. Don't
Yeah.
chance
Yeah.
on that one.
No. We're
Yeah.
going to buy tickets in advance. I think
And
what
what's
we're
your other
actually
one?
leaning towards is that we're going to go do a full day kayaking trip down on the Colorado. I've done
Oh, yeah.
a half day one before, and it was my first time kayaking, and I surprised myself by being good at it. It's not being a terribly sporty person, and I loved it. So the full day one with Blazing Paddles, they drive you up to the Hoover Dam, and that's where you start, and then you go down river 12 miles. There's a stop for a picnic lunch. There's also a short hike to a hot springs too. So there's also some little kind of side trip things that happen. And it just seems like such a cool thing to do. And it is always hotter down there by Willow Beach than it is up here in Vegas. So by the summertime when it's 104
It's
up
too
here,
much. It's
it's
too much.
111 down there. And
Yeah.
it's, you're fully exposed. It's not super shady.
Yeah.
So this seems like the time of year to do it and challenge ourselves. It'll be quiet. We'll see more wildlife. Maybe we'll see some bighorn sheep. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I have another suggestion on the outdoors tip if you're down.
Yeah,
Have you
please.
been to the Ice Age National Monument in
No,
north
not
Las
yet.
Vegas?
It's
Yeah,
on my
perfect
to-do
time to
list.
check it
Have you
out in
been?
March for sure.
Okay. Have you been up there?
Yeah. I want to go back because I feel like I barely scratched the surface, so to speak. And it's, basically where they started digging up all these woolly mammoth fossils and ancient camels
Mm.
and gigantic sloths in the 60s. And you could actually hike into the Big Dig where they were, actually
Yeah.
excavating these ancient creatures back in the 60s.
Cool.
And we did a whole episode on that here on the podcast.
Oh,
So you could just look into
yeah.
the archives
Yeah.
we had right when they were opening. It was all the ins and outs.
Andrew, any
Yeah.
tips that you have for our listeners from your visit up there?
But I would say take your time through the interpretive center because it is small, but just densely packed with information. And it is
Cool.
insane to know how much biological activity was going on. And there are areas where there were
Mm.
like these swampy sinkholes where things would get stuck and die. And it just piled up over, millennia, like 40,000 years. And so you have basically like this really juicy archaeological sandwich, that's
Cool.
for your intellectual
I love
delectation.
a juicy archaeological sandwich for my intellectual degustation. Is that what the final word you
I
said?
said
I don't know.
delectation, but degustation is
Delectation.
even better.
There was dust on those mints.
Andrew, you also, there's a show coming to the Majestic that you're kind of tapped into too. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, I'm enchanted by this show only because of the title, and I'm a big fan of everything that Majestic does and Troy Hurd, their director, does.
I think I know what this is because I saw that title too, and I'm like, I want to go to that.
Yeah, and Majestic, they're riding high on Screamed and Cabaret, but they're doing a show, opens March 27th at Majestic. It's called I'm Gonna Marry You, Tobey Maguire, and it's
So
a
in.
so-called Y2K farce, this dark satire about fame, obsession, celebrity stalking, about this 14-year-old girl, Shelby Hinckley, who kidnaps Tobey Maguire in hopes of marrying him. So that just sounds like the kind of dark, absurdist stuff that Majestic is, that's right in their pocket. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's all about.
Yeah, they've cast it and it's ready to go, and I cannot wait. Hey friends, if you love CityCast, there's a way to do us a solid by helping us win Best Vegas Podcast in the Las Vegas Weekly's Best of Vegas Awards. Even if you only just want to vote for this category, it literally takes 10 seconds. So head on over to lasvegasweekly.com/Best of Vegas 2025 and find Best Vegas Podcast under Arts and Entertainment. Las Vegas is putting out great weekly and monthly pods for sure, but if you found even one episode of our daily podcast to be indispensable, whether it was our in-depth reporting about the Tesla tunnels, life in a sex club, changing gambling odds, or the best new restaurants you've never heard of, we'd find your vote for us to be an excellent thank you. So head on over to lasvegasweekly.com/Best of Vegas 2025 and vote for CityCast Las Vegas.
Get your closet ready. Abercrombie's kickoff to spring sale just went live. When the temperature goes up, I'm down for plans and need new outfits to match. I love Abercrombie's new collared shirts because they come in lightweight, breathable fabrics like linen. My go-to is pairing their 90s straight jean with the premium heavyweight tee. You'll want it in every color, like I do. Stack an extra 15% with code SPRINGAF now through March 3rd. Offer valid in the US and Canada. Exclusions apply. See details online.
Okay, what are we going to eat or drink this month that's good? David, I feel like you've really got your finger on the pulse of dining in the city. What's up?
I mean, I'm so blessed that I could be so lazy now that I basically just walk 3 blocks every month. I'm going to find a new treat that I've been waiting for at least a month. So there are some openings in the Arts District that I'm really super excited about. The one that I am for sure is going to open in March. It's called Echo Taste and Sound. It's described as good bites, good music, good vibes. And it is right next to Bar Ginza, which I love, right around the corner from your favorite Palette. This is from one of my favorite Vegas chefs, Chef Natalie Young.
Oh,
and I've been following Chef Nat for every turn. She always does something so unique and interesting and cozy. You may know Chef Natalie Young from Eat, the staple of breakfast and lunch downtown. She had a great spot called Chow that was right next to the Ferguson. She had another one called Old Souls that was over at the World Market Center. And Echo is also being touted as a sound bar, which means that they are curating records and music, and they have old audio equipment that they play the stuff on for those nice tones and vibe. So Echo is definitely on the radar. I don't know if the French restaurant is going to make it for March or not. They're saying that they are. This is the big French restaurant companion to Le Petit Bohème, the Bohème, Le Bohème, the big French restaurant that's being brought to you by James Trees and others down in the Arts District. If it does open, we're definitely going to be there in March, but my guess is it's a better bet for April.
Yeah, and Andrew, you have been down at Le Petit Bohème recently as well. How was that for you?
Oh yeah, I've been down several times, and the cocktails are amazing because they are like precision tuned. They are very potent. They have, the fact that they have table service just makes the vibe so much more, rad. And one of my favorites is their Le Plaisir de Scotty. And it's like this head-snapping rum cocktail that takes like tiki drink flavors with a double dose of rum, but adds in a lot of like complex fruit flavors. So it's definitely one of my favorite drinks. It's perfect for outdoor sipping. And looking forward to hitting the Petit Bohème's patio for some of that cocktail action.
And I've heard you've been living another Figler favorite, Jive Turkey, which is still relatively new downtown.
Yeah, so this will actually be the first. I think they opened in the fall of last year, so this will be their first spring. And the actual like physical construct of Jive Turkey is kind of interesting because it's sort of built around a breezeway where they have this picnic table right out in the middle. And so it is just perfect for, I've just hung out there with a group of 8 to 10 friends. It just feels like you're sort of picnicking in the middle of downtown. And they got a great drink selection, good beers, very just nondescript, dive bar vibe. But the food is surprisingly good. And I wouldn't call it elevated because it's just like damn good. And one of my
It's just damn good bar food. It's all your bar favorites, but better.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
Chicken bites and sliders.
Yeah.
What do you love there?
Oh, the short rib sandwich. Oh my God, it is so good. And it is like this cheese-bound glob of ribby goodness on toasted bread. I think there's two. It's like a 2-cheese blend. They give you some like crazy dipping sauces, but like sandwiches are the best whenever they're toasty yet gooey, and it's just like this physics-defying phenomenon that you could eat.
Also, it's my new spot for hot dogs.
Oh,
they do.
I actually haven't had the hot dogs, so
I got a Chicago dog basically there. It was excellent. They're also doing live music there on the other side of the breezeway, which makes total sense that they have it all split up. It's very smart, very well done.
And they're also doing yoga, believe it or not. They do yoga.
I don't believe it.
Once or twice a month.
You gave me the option. I choose not to believe that they're doing yoga there.
Yeah. So
that's interesting. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, so their programming is diverse for sure.
So, as you both know, I just bought a house now 3 months ago.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. But it means I have not been going out to eat a ton because I have no money. I spent it all on buying a house and fixing the house and paying those bills. But things are going well. That being said, I have been eating ice cream a lot because I'm working at that ice cream book. And I got to say that Sorry Not Sorry's Ube honeycomb ice cream still hits. It is, I think, the best ice cream, the best flavor in all of Las Vegas. You got to get out there and get it.
Where is the Sorry Not Sorry?
They have 5 locations.
Oh, wow.
I instantly forgot. Anyway.
They have 4.
They've got 4 locations. You look them up. They're all over the place. They are delicious.
Now, that's the one that's right on Fremont East, right? They have that little... Yes.
Oh, yeah. They're inside the ice cream club, the EDM ice cream
Ice cream?
club.
What's it called?
Yeah, ice cream.
Yeah, we all scream.
They also supply the ice cream, but we all scream. There's a takeout window there in Fremont East, but they've also got shops in little neighborhoods all over the place, so don't miss it.
Cool.
The other thing about buying a house, though, is that I can finally invest in my property. I can put things in the ground with an eye on the long term. So I recently bought a mesquite tree from the UNR Research Orchard on the north part of town.
Call.
Yeah, they're open every weekend. They have a farm stand. They have plants, both native and desert adapted. And the people are so nice and so
totally
helpful.
Affordable, too.
So affordable. I really enjoyed it. And sometimes Desert Bread does pop-ups there. So Desert Bread is probably my favorite bakery in town too. So follow their Instagram to see when they do pop-up. It's a good excuse to go up there. They do tours too, free tours. It's great. So I put a mesquite tree in because it's native. I love mesquite flower. It's delicious. And then I was also just did a trip in LA. And when I came back, I stopped by Savardea Farms, which is kind of by Riverside, and they do a ton of Mojave natives as well. So I bought like some globe mallow and stuff, and I didn't they have a lot of fruit trees, a lot of banana, a lot of guava, a lot of rare fruits, tropical fruits too, and they had a ton of cardamom plants, which I didn't get because I was a little intimidated by the water requirements. Since I travel so much, I'm leaning towards desert plants, kind of set it and forget it, but I would go back.
Then
and
pods get thirsty.
They get their tropical plants. The other thing, too, is, it's almost gardening season. March is when you can start planting in Vegas. So if you are a gardener or if you've just got a couple, pots on your porch. Now,
didn't my significant other give you some good gardening tips?
Yes. She found from UNLV. UNLV has this chart that tells you exactly when every vegetable should go in the ground because our growing conditions are different than other parts of the country. But I can tell you that mid-March is when you want to put your beans and peas in the ground. They can go direct sow.
Okay.
And that's also when you want to start your tomatoes indoors, and you can transplant them at the end of the month. So that chart with all those plants and when to plant them, we will drop that in the notes with all of our other recommendations.
Fantastic.
So welcome to our kicker. This is the one event that we are not going to miss this month. David, where are you going to be at?
I am very, very excited that RuPaul is doing a book tour and is going to do a stop on March 14th at the Flamingo, home of the RuPaul Drag Race. This isn't Drag Race. This is just RuPaul wearing a sassy hat and a turtleneck, I'm guessing, and just going to be reading from the memoir called The House of Hidden Meanings, which I can't even imagine how great that's going to be. I think there's only like 4 people alive who's talking about their own memoir that I'd want to see. RuPaul is in that group. I will tell you, though, on March 13th, I am intrigued by a new dating trend that has hit, not for myself, that has hit Las Vegas, but for my friends. So I have single friends, and I'd love to see if they're interested in pairing up to be able to pair up. But there's this thing, and we might have mentioned it on the podcast before, but I'm really intrigued by
David, tell the thing.
Pitch a friend.
Oh, yeah, it's catching on.
It is catching on. They're doing it in my neighborhood down at 18 Bin, which is not my favorite restaurant. I'm just going to say that out loud, but it's loud. But it is conveniently located, and you could get schnookered there just as well as anywhere else. And the whole concept is you do a PowerPoint basically saying why your friend is totally a dateable package. And I don't know if I want to do it with my male friends or my female friends or who would even be willing to let me pitch them. But I love, one of my favorite things to do in Las Vegas is introduce people anyway. And I always give like these little presentations like, oh, you should know, Andrew, he's got great hair and he used to do a zine, whatever.
And your second favorite thing is PowerPoints. So this is like
and I love PowerPoints. I'm going to do my TED Talk for select friends. So I'm working on who those friends might be right now, but I'm thinking on the 13th at 18 Bin, I'm going to try to pitch at least one, if not my entire cadre of friends.
So if you want to pitch, it is free, right? To pitch
you
your
just have to sign up ahead of time. So that's where I have made a mistake in the past. I was talking with a friend and we were going to do it, and then we thought we could just show up with a pitch deck. But no, you got to kind of have a little bit of planning ahead.
You have to submit, I think, at least 24 hours in advance. And of course, you don't have to pitch to go. The point is they're pitching to an audience. So if you are single and want to meet some people, you should check it out. Or
if you're single and you're friends with me, let's talk. Maybe I'll pitch you.
Oh, yeah.
It's like being the ultimate wing person.
So Andrew, what is the thing that you must do this month?
Well, my kicker pick is probably maybe counterintuitively sedate, but I would call it down to earth, literally. The Crystal Festival is happening at the Industrial Event Space March 15th and 16th. And I don't know, since January 21st, I've just been doom scrolling my brain to tattered shreds, and I found deep solace in paying close attention to like tiny things. And so I'm feeling this sort of like deep soul need to get down with some earthy geology to kind of just center myself. So apparently, like the sort of rockhound scene, the geofanatic scene is huge, and this Crystal Festival just really attracts people who are into all this stuff. So there's going to be crystals and gems and fossils and rocks and jewelry. And that's another thing that's weird. I think I'm like
Getting into
have this
crystals?
kind of urge that or some kind of morphological thing where I'm turning into Val Kilmer, and
Oh,
I've been enjoying like jewelry.
you're of
Crystal
an
Festival, yeah.
age that you're
Yeah.
allowed to become Val Kilmer, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I could look like a shaman. I could look like a Sherpa.
Yeah,
So
congratulations on your transition.
yeah, so so this Crystal Festival actually sounds really fascinating. So I might check that out and see what's rocking.
Well, I did collect rocks as a kid, so you know what? I'm lying. I collect rocks as an adult. I love a rock.
So yeah, plenty
Yeah,
to be had here.
I've got two events that I'm going to go to both to, and they're both on the same day, but luckily at different times. So first off, the Labyrinth in Concert is touring, and it is coming to the
So
Smith
cool.
Center
Yeah.
March 20th. There's going to be a live orchestra
Wow.
playing along with David Bowie's original songs, and I can't remember who wrote the score now, but it was also somebody very famous too. I love this film. I would say this was definitely a sexual awakening for me at whatever age I first watched it, and I think for most women, most elder millennial girls and gays, it probably was too, at least the weirdos. So the tickets, oh my gosh, there's like less than 100 tickets left. This event is selling out. They're ranging from about $50 to $100 right now. So if you're thinking of going, you should absolutely get your ticket right now. I just bought my ticket today. But before
Ooh.
that, yes, David?
Oh, I was just going to say I looked it up. The co-composer is a gentleman named Trevor Jones.
Trevor Jones.
I thought you were gonna say
Thanks,
it
Trevor.
sounds amazing.
Because of the Labyrinth? Thanks.
It's
Thank
a
you, Andrew.
creepy film. I love it, but
I love it. Okay, but earlier that day, I am teaching an online class called How to Research. It is available through the Brooklyn Brainery. You can buy tickets online. It's going to start at 4:30 p.m. on March 20th. And this is about like if you're a writer, if you're working on a history project, whatever. These are just research tips and access to archives and all kinds of good information from my career as a historian and journalist. And also, it's a toolbox to help you detect fake news because you should really research something before you repost it. And I think after all my years of being a historian too, it's really helped me sniff out things that appear online on social media or in the news where I'm like, that doesn't quite sound right. Usually it just takes literally one Google search to like begin to figure things out or go down a rabbit hole. It's $30.
Same
Can't beat
thing.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a
it's
steal.
$30. You can't beat it. I know, it's totally a steal. Brooklyn Brainery is a fun organization that does lots of online classes too, and I often teach with them. So if you want to hang out and learn about how to tackle your next research project, come on by. So do that first, and then I'll see you at the Smith Center for the Labyrinth in Concert.
Love it.
Andrew David, thank you so much for all of your fun insights.
totally fun. Happy March, second best month of the year. Here we come.
Second best month.
Number 2.
And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed our show, send it to a friend and make some fun plans for March. You can rate our show and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. And you're going to want to subscribe to our morning newsletter if you want even more fun events. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care. Hello, March. Hello, March. Hello,
March.
March.
Sup, March? Sup?
Hello, March. Wait, let me actually do this.
Hey, March.